Hello, beautiful people. We'll be starting this up here in about 4.5 minutes or so. Looking forward to seeing you. Speed feeding right from your group. Looking forward to seeing you live. So in about 2 minutes, this will be our first time exclusively streaming from this group. Everybody's over on my profile page going, where's Barron Landscapes? Well, we're streaming from here from now on. Just about 1 minute to airtime. Looking forward to seeing you. Really excited about tonight. And can't wait to tell you what I got to tell you, show you what I got to show you. How are you all tonight? It's good to see everybody. I gotta get rid of these. If you sit down on these, I've got a hunch that it is just not really pleasant. That makes me feel like I've got an orchestra playing. It's like a real talk show, and we don't have an orchestra. I'm using friends' music tonight. All the music is by Brian Anderson. Thank you, Brian, for providing Barron Landscapes with all the music that you do. So, goodness, we've moved to the group, and so not everybody has found it yet. Everybody's come into the group. We've got a really good number. We're over 50. I don't know what we've got. Almost 60 in the group now. But we've been doing this on my profile page, and so it's going to take everybody a while to get used to the move to bring it over here, which is why we record it, and it's going to be up on our Facebook group, your Facebook group, for a week. We won't take this down until next Friday when we do the next Barron Landscapes. And I do that for a couple of reasons. We've got one regular who's not going to be here tonight. He's all very mysterious about, I don't know where he is or what he's doing, but he said he couldn't make it because he had a nightly duty to do, with a K. A nightly duty. So he's out rescuing a damsel in distress, I guess, or I don't know. Jordan Allen, we'll see you on replay. So we leave it up on replay on the group, and you can come and see it anytime. So if like you've got to work, if you're going on shift, off shift, got to work, got something going on, people have kids, you can't all make it here, we leave it up so that you can see the pre-recorded version. The reason that we do this live recording, everybody has said, why don't you pre-record it and then you can just put the video up, is that I like giving everybody a chance to see it live if they want to, and they can say horrible, hateful things and make those little funny emoji cons that you guys send me, and you can do all that stuff, so I like that. It is Friday. For those of you that are not keeping track of the days or the months, so I guess I will tell you that it is the 28th of August, and it is Friday. This is episode 19 of Barron Landscapes, and so for those of you that aren't keeping up with the days or the months or the years, now you know it's still 2020. Do you have any doubts that it's 2020? So it's Friday. So this episode of Barron Landscapes is called The New Normal. And as if, right? Everybody's talking about the new normal. Every email advertising piece that I get now is talking about the new normal. Come and we'll tell you about the new normal. No, you won't. That's a bunch. I know my grandkids watch, so I can't say bullshit. So that's a bunch of BS. You're not going to tell me about the new normal because none of us know what the new normal is. I will tell you what, when I get an email from a group that's going to tell me about the new normal, I know exactly what they're doing, what that new normal is all about. And all that they're doing is they're out to make a buck. They're working off of fear. And they are hoping that I'm so afraid of what's going on right now that when they pitch the new normal to me, as they're pitching me on the new normal, I'm going to buy their product, they're going to make a little bit of money, and they're going to give me a little peace of mind. Well, you can't buy peace of mind, you guys. You just can't. The new normal, we're not going to know what the new normal is until we're into it. And we're not going to be into the new normal until we've reached the status quo. And we haven't reached the status quo, and I'll tell you why. And of course, right now I'm talking about the virus, and we're going to talk about other stuff as we go through, and I've got some great magic for you tonight. But let me tell you about status quo. We don't know enough about this virus right now to even begin to achieve a new normal. We're looking right now for status quo. We're looking for how many generations the virus has. We're looking for the mutations that the virus is making. A gentleman in Nevada, in Reno, Nevada, has been reinfected. Now, that's not quite right. He hasn't been reinfected. He has COVID-19 again. He had it before, but they genetically tested it, and the COVID-19 that he's got now is genetically different from the COVID-19 that he tested positive with before. Before, it was a different strain, a slightly different strain, and it didn't hit him as hard. And now he's got a new strain, and it's hitting him harder. There are about 6 evolutions of coronavirus that cause COVID floating around right now. we haven't reached a status quo, so we can't look for a normal. We don't know what that new normal is going to be until we find the status quo. We won't find the status quo until we as citizens do something. Now, what is that something going to be? Well, it may have to be that we do a total shutdown in the United States. We haven't done that yet. We've shut down cities, we've shut down regions. Some states have done what they call a shutdown, but they didn't even shut down, you guys. They didn't even shut down. They kept essential services open. They kept letting their folks go to the store. And we saw what happened in New Zealand. New Zealand had 0 cases. They flatlined it. They reopened it, and now they're up to 1,200 some odd cases. They're looking at 5 to 7 cases a day coming in. So even New Zealand went, oops, a couple of people broke curfew, broke quarantine over in New Zealand, and propagated the new spread of the virus. And so we really, globally, y'all, have to shut this mother down, as painful as that's going to be. We have to shut this mother down, and we have to starve that virus. We have to starve that virus in our homes. We have to stop it from spreading. And then we can begin to realize what is the status quo. I follow a genome tracking page for coronavirus, and we're already in the 6th iteration of this particular virus. And that means that it has mutated that we know of at least 6 times. And so it keeps right on going. We don't have a status quo. We can't have a new normal. I'm getting some interesting emails and I'm doing some interesting research. I don't like everything I research. So I was looking at the WHO website earlier this week, the World Health Organization, and their top doctor says we're looking at about 5 years, you guys. I hope she's wrong. But that's what she says. She says about 5 years to get this pandemic under control. The CDC says we're looking at 2 years. So between 2 and 5 years is what we're looking at to get this pandemic under control. We're not looking at a new normal yet. Let me tell you some of the virtual normal, our virtual future that's coming up, and that's one of the things that I wanted to mention. 2 things that I keep seeing coming up all over the internet, all over my Facebook feed, all over my LinkedIn feeds. 2 things that I keep seeing coming up that make me think we're going to have this new virtual future, at least for now. I get these ads for trade shows, and it's about the new virtual trade show. So trade shows are going virtual. We're not going to have those back for quite a while. I know we've got a lot of people that don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. We do about 4 trade shows a year with Stringfellow Consulting. That's where we make the majority of our contacts to get our business for next year. So this year we've not been to any, so we don't have any contacts for next year. So it's scary. But what it's looking like is that virtual trade shows are going to be the way to go until we reach the new normal. And then we can figure out how to go back live into trade shows. The other thing that I'm getting is virtual realtors. And so instead of going out to see a house, you do a virtual tour. They walk you around. You can do this through Zoom. You're right there with your realtor through a Zoom connection, and you can say, oh, let me see that wall again. Oh, get closer to that light switch. Let me take a look at that thermostat. Let me see that doorknob. I don't like that doorknob, y'all. And so the realty world is looking at this as the current virtual normal for them. So we're looking at some changes. We have to reach the status quo before we reach the new normal. I don't know if you can hear that. That music is really for me, but if you can hear it, great. That is another piece of music by our buddy. I'm going to talk about zombies. Look, we have had murder hornets. We have had killer hurricanes. We have had earthquakes. We have had fires. I have had more than half of the United States is on fire right now, y'all. So I figured we got to talk about zombies. And no, it's not the next 2020 thing coming up. Don't worry about it. Let me get a book here. This is a great book. This book is called You Might Be a Zombie and Other Bad News. Our grandson Jared saw this in the bathroom one day. And he was 4. And he brought it out to Nani. And he said, Nani, this says I might be a zombie. And Nani said, that's right. And he said, does my daddy know? I think his dad would know. So this is a book from the editors of cracked.com. You Might Be a Zombie and Other Bad News. It's a compilation of weird facts and things from the world and the universe. And I was doing some very important work this afternoon in reading this book, and I came across a most interesting thing on page 191. Folks, there is a virtual copy of this, which I think is perfect, because if we're talking about virtual normal and the virtual future, the fact that there's a virtual copy of this is spectacular. There is an electronic copy. You Might Be a Zombie and Other Bad News. Get you one. But it's really interesting. So we started out last week telling you about a documentary. And the documentary is called The Great Hack. I'm not going to talk to you too much about that tonight. I want to hit on ocean. But the documentary is called The Great Hack. And I think it'd be a good watch for everybody. It's on Netflix. And it took me about 3 times to watch it, because I'd start it, stop it, start it, stop it. And then when I watched it the other day, finally I sat down, and when Athena was resting, I sat down and I went, I'm going to watch this thing. It took me 6 pauses. And what that means is my head got spun, and I hit pause and went and got myself a cup of coffee, came back, watched it some more. My head got spun. I hit pause. I went out and smoked a cigarette. I know, I get it. I want to thank everybody that's been sending me the quit smoking stuff to my messenger. I appreciate it. I love you. I know you love me. I totally get it. I should quit. And I intend to at some point. But keep it coming, because it really does give me impetus to think about quitting smoking. Now, I wouldn't worry about that. That's a wet cough. So I watched this, The Great Hack, and it's about Cambridge Analytica, but more. It goes beyond Cambridge Analytica, so check it out. We're going to talk about some of the tricks of the trade there. But today I'm reading this book, and I remember reading this before, and there's a chapter here, 4 brainwashing techniques that they're using on you right now. And so in this book, it talks about these 4 techniques that you can use against the masses to control the masses. And I don't know if it says in here, I don't remember from reading it if it says, but I studied a case many years ago called MK Ultra, which was an interesting project. It was an experiment performed on the mind. And so this is very similar to MK Ultra. I'm not going to bore you with it, but I want to tell you about the 4 things that anybody can use to brainwash a person, a group, a nation, or a world. Again, we're not going to go into this too deeply because I want to get to the magic. But number 4, going to start backwards. Number 4, chanting slogans. Number 4, how to brainwash the populace. Get them to chant slogans. Number 3, slip bullshit into their subconscious. Number 2, control what they watch and what they read. Number 1, keep them in line with shame. Excuse me, 4 things. 4 things that you can use to control a populace. And I want you to think about those 4 things. Thank you, my goddess lady, for bringing me a little bit of water. I want you to think about those 4 things. And I want you to tell me that those 4 things aren't happening right now. Now, this is not an us and a them thing. Because this is not an us and a them show. Y'all know that. Everybody that watches this knows this is not a Democrat show. This is not a Republican show. It's not a bash anybody show. Those 4 things can be used against Democrats. They can be used against Republicans. They can be used in Black Lives Matter. They can be used in any campaign you want against any group of people you want. And don't think it's just them using it against us or us using it against them. Those in power understand those 4 points. And if they don't understand them, they hire people who do. And so catch that flick, The Great Hack. So it's all money driven. Everything that we see, why are we open? Why don't we just shut down? Why are some things open but other things aren't? A gentleman in Michigan today asked me a question. And he said, okay, why are theaters closed but casinos are open? It's okay for a casino to be open, but not okay for a theater to be open? And I said, it's very simple. It's very simple. He was in Michigan. Look at theaters in Michigan, and he was talking about live theaters, not movie theaters. Look at theaters in Michigan and look at the taxes they pay. Then look at the casinos and look at the taxes they pay. And if you look at the casinos and the taxes they pay, you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. And if you look at the theaters and the taxes that they pay, you're talking about paltry little. They're just the arts. So if you're wondering what drives this, it's all money driven. All money driven. Could you see if I'm still in the frame?
Yes.
So what I thought we would do is talk about some money driven stuff tonight. And that little Dickens. I had another one. These things are just coming out of nowhere. All money driven. I am money bags, and this is my money bags. And so everything is money driven. Money, 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 money. So see, money is what makes the world go round. It's also what makes the government work. Everything is money driven. Now, there's a lot of money that we can't even see. Can you not see that, Athena? Can you not see that, you guys? There's a lot of money that we cannot even see. But sure enough, when you watch The Great Hack, you're going to find out a little bit about money. One of the things that we learn through watching The Great Hack is in about 2017, now they don't see this, I had to go Google this on my own. In about 2017, one thing became more valuable than money. One thing became more valuable than money. What do you think it is that became more valuable than money? Oil? Oil? Anybody answering? Something became more valuable than money itself because it became the gateway to power. More valuable than oil. More valuable than money. And you cannot see it. It is invisible. But it is everywhere all the time, even in here. Guess what that is? Not money. What's more valuable than money? What's invisible? What's more valuable than
Dante
oil?
said silver.
What's that?
Dante said silver.
Silver? No. Gold? No. Platinum?
Air.
No. Air? This is in the air, kinda. This is in the air. No. Data. Data became the most valuable thing on the face of this planet. Every time you swipe your ATM card, every time you click a like on Facebook, every time you take one of those tests on Facebook, every time you go online, every time you turn on your TV, every time you start your car, every time you go driving, every little tiny piece of data that you put up into the Ethernet is valuable because it allows them to track you.
Every time you want to know what kind of potato you look like.
Every time you want to know what kind of potato you look like, or what we're going to talk about, every time you want to find out what your personality is like. Every time you want to find out what your personality is like, you click a button and you take a test. And that test tells you that you're quirky, pretty, desirable, sexy, or a potato. Mine, I took my personality test and it said I was a potato. I don't think that's exactly true. But every time we click those buttons, and every time we play their games, every single time we play along, we make them money. Every single time. Oops. Every single time we take a test, every single time we click a like, every single time it's just like making money out of thin air. So let's talk about that just a little bit more. When you watch The Great Hack, they're going to breeze by something real quickly called Ocean, O-C-E-A-N, Ocean. And Ocean are most of the psychological tests that you take online. When you click on those psychological tests, you're asked to answer questions or choose visuals. And it's based on Ocean, O-C-E-A-N, openness, consciousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Using just these 5 points of data, O-C-E-A-N, using just these 5 points of data, Cambridge Analytica came up with 5,000 points of data on every voter in the United States of America, on every voter in the UK. Literally, Cambridge Analytica put President Trump in office. Literally, Cambridge Analytica allowed Brexit to happen because everybody was controlled in that direction. It's like cattle pushers, cattle prods in that direction. And so watch The Great Hack. And we're going to close tonight talking about another great hack, something that a lot of people don't know about. I'm familiar with it. You are all watching this show. Bless your hearts. Thank you, by the way, for coming by tonight and spending some time with us. Hope we'll see you next Friday. We're going to try and get everybody here. When we've got everybody here, it just becomes a crazy time. But we have to guide them, get everybody used to. I have to train people to come to the group to watch the show. But tonight, I want to talk about a different kind of hack. It's a hack called octothorpes. Octothorpes. Now, you guys may not know what octothorpes are. Octothorpes are hashtags. The octothorpe is that little pound sign or number sign. And so octothorpes are how we use that pound sign or hash symbol to make a hashtag. For instance, the group here is hashtag Barron Landscapes by Barron A. Stringfellow. And a lot of people can find this group. If you're a member of the group and you go to my wall on Facebook and you click hashtag Barron Landscapes, it will take you to the hashtag page for hashtag Barron Landscapes, and you can see all of the history of hashtag Barron Landscapes, and you can even find a link that you click that will bring you here onto your group page. But every time you click a hashtag, every time you click a hashtag, you go to where that hashtag is linked to. So when you share a hashtag, if you share hashtag Barron Landscapes, which I really encourage you to do, if you share hashtag Barron Landscapes on your Facebook page, it's going to take everybody to hashtag Barron Landscapes. And when you share it, I can see that you shared it. Any hashtag you share, the person who owns that hashtag can see that you did that. Let's talk about a new hashtag. It is the Save Our Children hashtag. This is a data collection hashtag. And what they're doing is everybody that shares that hashtag, your information comes up with that hashtag. Oh, Athena shared the hashtag. Barron shared the hashtag. Then the data collection services can gather all of our Facebook information with AI, artificial intelligence. So every time you share that Save Our Children hashtag, you open yourself up to an invasion of data snatchers. That's what happens when you use a hashtag that you don't research. Now, when you share Barron Landscapes, nothing happens. We don't peep at it, we don't share it, we don't use any information, we don't get any information. We ain't hooked up that way. But on large programs, and it breaks my heart, y'all, but hashtag BLM, hashtag Black Lives Matter can be used against us. Now, it doesn't mean stop using those, but be aware of what they can be used for. You can subvert a hashtag. So I check on hashtag Barron Landscapes occasionally. And what I'm doing is making sure that nobody is using hashtag Barron Landscapes in a way that I wouldn't want Barron Landscapes associated with. Otherwise, we'll have a hashtag war, and I will put them down. But be aware of these octothorpes. When you type in an octothorpe on your wall and share it, when you say, I support hashtag such as Save Our Children, you are sharing yourself with the hashtag, and you're sharing the hashtag with you. So be really careful what links you allow, and that's all a hashtag is. It's a link. You're creating a link to a bigger page on the web. And when we get to the final page, and by the way, on the Save Our Children, the final page goes back to some QAnon-related groups.
Save the children.
Save the Children, sorry. Goes back to some Q-related groups. And I sure am not going to use that hashtag. Athena's got some great ideas. If you want to really save the children, Athena's got some great ideas. Have her message you or check her wall so that you can really save some children. But an octothorpe is not really the way to save the children. It's a way to get your data snatched. It's unfortunate, but that's where we are in this data-driven world. Well, it's Friday, and it'll be Friday again next Friday. So we look forward to seeing you again next Friday. Athena and I will welcome you back into our home. We'll have new magic for you. I hope you like the magic I did tonight. It's a mess right now. We'll have new magic for you. We'll have new ideas for you. As you know, throughout the week I put out little coverage.
Gilberta wants to know how to stop it because now she's freaking out.
Who wants to know what?
Gilberta wants to know how she can stop it.
Gilberta, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Next week I will do planting your foot in an octothorpe. In the meantime, what you can do is don't just delete your post. Edit your post. Go back to edit your post. Take the hashtag off your post. Repost your post. Edit your post. Delete your post. And that will remove it. So I hope that made sense. If it didn't, message me and I'll get you in on that. We'll talk about getting an octothorpe off your back next week because that's a great subject. Thank you, Gilberta, for coming up with our subject next week, how to protect ourselves from data munchers, from data thieves. And nothing is 100%, but we'll talk about that, and I'll give you some tricks of the trade, how to stop that. I wonder if maybe Gene would come in and do a guest spot with us. He might. I'll see if he's a data specialist, a security specialist. Oh, my goodness, so much. Hey, y'all, thanks for finding us here on your group. It's not my group, it's your group. Welcome. Invite your friends in here. If you think there's somebody that might enjoy this, and hey, they don't have to think like we do. We can have radical thinkers, radically different people in here. I welcome them. We're not political. It's a completely apolitical group. We're not sexual. It's a completely asexual group. We're a very content, very humanitarian group. And the fact is, what I want to do with this group now is just show that we can love each other. People of all colors, people of all genders, people of all beliefs and all understandings can get together in one place and go, I agree. We can do that. Or I disagree, and here's why, and maybe some of us can go, never thought of it that way. But keep coming back every Friday. Invite your friends if you think you've got a friend that will enjoy the show. Link them in, invite them into to your group, and have a great week, would you? I know we said that there's not going to be a new normal for a long time, but in the meantime, let's just look for status quo. Let's look for some firm ground. If we don't find it, we'll make it. You and me together. And just remember, everything that's going on out there, Athena and I are just a messenger away. We are just a text away. We're here. If you just want to rap, if the world just gets to be too much, just holla. We're going through the same crap you are. We're having the same problems you are. We just have a little different attitude about it, I think, is our thing. Because, as Athena would say, we ain't dead yet. So we'll see y'all next Friday. We love you. If you have any questions, just message me and let your people know. Let your friends know about the show here. Let's get it out and get it on. Talk to you later. See you next Friday. We love you guys. Behave. Be good. Bye.